This is serious. Oh, are you not what? I'm being shamed. My goodness, is that you? Oh, baby. Hey, I just remembered. Come on, let's do it. Here. Oh my goodness, that's been good, you know?
Goodness, it's been a long
Oh,
while.
why have you dogged us that way? Oh,
I'll tell you all about it.
All right. Welcome, lovely people, to another edition on the LABABY'S Spotlight Show. I remain your hostess, LABABY, and today our guest is in the person of Amide. All right, and she's a writer and teacher by profession. Amide, we've heard of social distance.
Of course, that sounds so far from you.
And to us. Okay, so today what we'll be talking about is knowing who a melancholy is, that is a melancholic profile, and how best to live with them. Knowing who a melancholy is and how best to live with them. But before we begin, I'm going to acknowledge our sponsors. If you're looking for the best home to get your lovely products, goods, and services, speed, hamper packages, lady stock, perfumes, and all that, the number to dial is 050-871-2689, 050-871-2689, or follow LABABY'S Hub on social media, be it Facebook or Instagram. And if you're looking for a home of quality dog food, the number to dial is 020-817-4602. Okay, starting, I'd like to read this before we begin. Now, a melancholy person is one who leads a self-reliant life. He is thoughtful, reserved, and often anxious. They often strive for perfection within themselves and their surroundings, which leads to tidiness and detail-oriented behavior. That is the briefing we could get before we begin. Andy, do you agree with this?
Oh yes, of course. And then we are in very hard times now, and I want to use the times we are in as an example. I was in a vehicle yesterday, and then I saw a man with a nose mask, with hand sanitizers, of course the very big one. And then I asked myself, who could this be? I was working with a friend, so I just told my friend, no, this man would be a melancholic man, because he never even turned, he didn't shake his head, he was just there. And when it comes to the melancholic temperament, they are a bit to the task. They are people who just want to obey the rules. If it's an order from somewhere, they wouldn't mind just following it to the letter. So if it's a big sanitizer, they'll get the very big one. If it's nose masks, as compared to the other temperaments, a sanguine, for example, wouldn't even care moving around town without a nose mask. So that's just an example of who a melancholic is, per what I saw yesterday.
Okay, so per what she saw and what viewers probably know, would you agree that so we are saying perfectionists in our society today? Like they want everything to be 100% proper.
Yes, of course. Everyone who pays attention to details has that kind of perfectionist lifestyle. And I want to state that when we talk about temperaments, we are looking at people's attitudes, the way they relate to people, and their general overlook of life. So, for example, a melancholic is going to work, and he or she would want the lines of the dresses to fall in place. There will be no hair falling back. Everything would just be so perfect. And you would wonder how they carry themselves about in such situations. For a sanguine, for example, if the dress is not even ironed, I don't really care.
All right, so going deeper, we'd like to know, how can we be able to identify one who is a melancholy in our society today?
Okay, so we meet people every day. We come into contact with people. We have interpersonal relationships with people. And so most of the time, when you meet somebody, you don't deal with the person with prejudice or anything, but then you try to know who the person is. One thing my grandma taught me was the fact that you should learn to know people, and the moment you know them, you are able to live with them. So I use the observation theory. I just watch the people I come into contact with. For a very long time, I have a discussion with them, and then I get to know. When you talk to somebody through conversation, you're able to know if the person is consistent, if the person is tidy, if the person is orderly, if the person has a certain form of outlook to life. For example, if you offend a melancholic, the person may not talk, but that bitterness, that hurt is harbored in the fellow until maybe you do something else. The person tells you that you did this last time. People even keep counts of
write it in their diary.
Exactly. And so imagine you're even married to a melancholic man who keeps counts of your
batch record. He will keep making the record straight to you.
That's it. And you feel, so does that mean you've been keeping all this? And it's not the person's fault. That is who the person is. And God has created all of us uniquely.
Yeah.
And so you just have to communicate with the person, observe the person, and then you know who the person is.
All right. So we are moving further. We want to know what are some of the pros and cons. Or if someone is a melancholic person, what are some of the advantages and disadvantages?
Okay, so for advantages, you all know that if you are working, maybe you are the boss and you are working with a melancholic, it means that everything will be in order. Imagine a melancholic as your administrative officer. It means that all your records will be kept very well, and anytime you need it, he or she just gives it out to you. But the moment where a boss offends a worker and it becomes a total different environment where the boss feels that, it was just something little, maybe you just scolded the person that, why did you put this here? And that was it, the person is offended. And so when we come to the pros and cons, we are looking at people being straight to the point, people being professional, people who are orderly and all that. But the other side of it is that because they are professionals, they expect people to also be the same. And that is where the problem comes, because we all can't be the same. I would prefer maybe finish eating and going straight to the kitchen and washing. Somebody may think that, let me watch movie before doing that. So it comes down to the point where we all just need to know how to relate to one another.
Okay, so far we want to dig deeper so that we can know how to live best with them.
Okay.
How will I know that, this person is a melancholic, so these are some of the weaknesses? Okay, probably melancholic people are more reserved. They keep things in them. They easily harbor bitterness. They easily have unforgiveness and all that. How to knowing that? I mean, how can I know that and easily know that, so this is what I must do so that I do not step on their toes?
So I said earlier that two things you have to do. One, you observe. So you communicate. If you are living in a house with a melancholic person, for example, but the person tells you that, this is where I keep my goals, you gotta keep them there. If the person tells you, you have to sweep this way, this particular way, you have to do it. The person tells you, when I'm going to work, I must leave at 8. At 8, my lunch or my breakfast should be ready. It should be ready at that time. Because there are people who feel that life is easier when things are in order. Life is easier when we all do the things we have to do. You understand? And so, if you are living with such a person, all you need to know is to take orders and take instructions, because they give instructions. They give you what to do and what not to do. You go into a house and maybe you are told to remove your shoes and put your shoes on the mat. You should do that.
So that means if I'm getting you must obey the melancholic person.
That's it.
For peace to reign.
That's it.
Okay.
Because they're not going to understand you. They will not mince words with you. They'll tell you what they want and what they don't want.
Okay.
And you just have to do it.
Other researchers also tell us that melancholic people are not friendly. They are naturally unfriendly. Is this true?
Yeah, they are introverts.
Okay.
So, typical of a melancholic person, you wouldn't see him or her so vibrant and so hyper.
Okay.
But then you would need to get closer to a melancholic to know who the person is, because at the end of the day, they are to themselves, very much to themselves. That's how come they are so much of the out of the 4 temperaments, they are the introverts, because they don't easily open up to people. So you have to really dig deep before you can get who they really are. You can see a melancholic person, you would be in the same neighborhood, and for years you may not even know the person's name unless you drop very close.
So one of the keys is that if you want to be nice with a melancholic, apart from obeying whatever they say, You also have to observe them to know the do's and don'ts, and also draw closer to them. So does that mean when you are drawing closer to them, they are easily opening up?
Yes, you know, they want to see you first, see
So do
your
they
heart
trust
first.
easily?
No, they don't, because there are people who have gone through so many experiences, so to speak. Not that they have physical experiences, but then based on their inner self, they have gone through series of experiences, and so they want to see your heart first. When they see your heart and they feel it is open, then they give it. And they are the very nicest people to be with, because they are kind of, let's say, open-minded, they are genuine and all that.
Okay, so going to our viewers, one key commentator says that he's Kofi from the Ashanti region. He says that are melancholics good in bed since they keep a lot of things to themselves?
Good in bed. Let's say that they know how to hit it on the spot, because they pay attention to details, and so they want to do everything that will make the woman happy. But the danger in that is, you know, for other temperaments, they want to just finish quickly and then go. But they would want to do everything right. So step by step, you get
You don't want to
bathe.
miss.
Exactly,
Yeah.
you bathe, you shave if you are not well shaved,
Hey.
you shave, you clean up
Viewers.
and all that.
All right.
Then you can start whatever you want to start.
Okay, so moving further, I'd like to know, so can two melancholics move together, be it relationship wise or friendly wise, be it marriage, whatever? Can they move together?
Okay, we all know there's scientific rule that says that like poles repel and like poles attract. And so for two melancholic people, I'm not going to say that it's entirely wrong, but then it's going to be some kind of a battle, everyday conflict. Because okay, if for example you are melancholic, I'm also melancholic, then if I place my phone down, you're not supposed to touch it. You shouldn't even move it from where it is. And if you also put yours down, make sure it doesn't move. And you can imagine how the atmosphere would be like. So we cannot subtract it entirely, but again, we cannot also encourage it also, because you feel the two will be having a lot of hitches here and there.
But should it be that difficult? I mean, we both know that we are perfectionists, probably in a relationship, okay? So basically, if I know I keep my spoon here, you two keep yours here. Let's all keep our things here and here.
No,
And
you know, it's easy to say that it will just be okay.
okay,
But then when reality hits you, there should be some differences. You know, it's even fun when we have differences as human beings. It's fun when we all have different aspects of life. We all have different issues. We all have different ways through which we see life. It's fun, you know. But if it's the same thing, it's going to be boring. It's going to be two boring people living. Imagine the melancholic at that time is not ready to chat and ready to do certain things. Then what happens to the other person? So it's just going to be a boring journey to me. I wouldn't go for that.
so you wouldn't advise for that. Alright, viewers out there, what's your take? I mean, we've heard what our ears can hear for this short interim time. Well, it's up to you to also make your decision as well. But in 1 second, what would you say? But before that, do you believe and agree that those who commit suicide in our country or across the globe today are mostly melancholics?
Yeah, exactly. I would, because they are the people who have harbored a lot of things inside of them, and most of them are not even able to open up on such issues. So they keep things to themselves, and they just get overwhelmed with some of the issues that life throws at them, and they have no choice but to sadly realize.
So counseling someone like that is going to be difficult.
You would have to show concern. That's one. You would also have to show the person that you understand their makeup, internal makeup, their temperamental makeup, and everything.
All right, viewers out there, this is what time will allow us. For me, if I haven't heard anything, I've come to know that melancholists or melancholic people or prophylactic melancholic people are perfectionists. They are orderly people. Even though they are introverts, they like things as it is. If my phone is here, leave it where it is. If I come and my room is scattered, please leave it just as it is. I'll come and fix my thing. So if you know how to move with these people, then understanding them will be much easier and you'll be able to communicate with them. Ambi has helped us to throw light, and we are very grateful for that. And remember to share your thoughts, your views, and submissions on our portals. Help us to help you. Help us exchange the info that we have, and the world will be a better place for us all. Thank you for coming, and thank you for listening.
And don't forget to stay safe.
Exactly. During this season, COVID-19 pandemic season, please take care. Take note of all the precautionary measures and make sure that you wash your hands frequently. Use the sanitizers where there's no soap or water. Social distances. Let me say, hey, yeah, she forgets most often.
See you there.
Oh, please. She forgets most often, but please do not be like, hey, okay? Remember not to hug or shake like we just remembered ourselves or reminded ourselves earlier. And I mean, the world will be good if all of us unite and kick this out of our lives and system. Thank you all. God bless you all.